All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 147, 154-pound division, where Terence Bud Crawford must do something in order to get his respect from these people that claim that they are supporters of his and people that claim that they have the best interests of boxing in their hearts. However, as we see what took place at the end of last year and the beginning of this year, Jaron, Ennis, and Errol Spence Jr. both must be on the plate for Terence Crawford in order for him to get as much credit as people that are getting credit for doing half as much. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to talk about Terence Crawford and Terence Crawford being put in a very funny position because of the actions of several of the major boxing publications. And this is the case of I told you so. And the only way that Terence Crawford will ever get the credit that he truly deserves is by doing things that are way above and beyond what other people have to do to get the same credit. And that, in my opinion, is a fight with Errol Spence Jr. this year, which we know will be taking place. And then another undisputed fight, if he gets past Errol Spence, which is not guaranteed, with Jaron Ennis. Anything short of that, don't expect for them to get for Terence Crawford to get the credit that he deserves, because clearly these awards that are going out in boxing, if they're not directly paid for, they are so heavily influenced by politics that he'll never get a fair share. Because in this particular instance, Ring Magazine, this year, 2023, Ring Magazine, ESPN, and Sports Illustrated all failed to give Terence Crawford something that Terence Crawford was due, more than the person that was first and more than the person that finished second for those awards. And I'll explain that. Before I do, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. It really makes a big difference to the channel. But let's get into this. I want to give you something that encapsulates what my meaning is in this video. And there was a joke that was told by Chris Rock one time on a comedy special. And he basically talked about how he was a very wealthy man and he lives in a mansion. And his next door neighbor, who lives in the same neighborhood as he does, is a dentist. And he said pretty much that there was not another black dentist in the world that could afford to live in the neighborhood that Chris Rock lived in. And he basically said that in order for somebody like Chris Rock to get somewhere like that dentist could get, he would have to fly to go to where that dentist can walk to, right? So illustrating that it seems like Chris Rock believed that he, in order to get in that neighborhood, considering his background, demographics, had to do something extraordinary, where the guy that was the dentist and not from his demographic really didn't. He just needed to go to school and open a dentist practice, right? So same reward, different levels of effort is what the joke was meant to illustrate. Got me? So let's think then about this fighter of the year in boxing. Terence Crawford did not win a single major, and I'm talking about the three major boxing publications, right? You have Ring Magazine, you have ESPN, and you have Sports Illustrated. ESPN and Ring Magazine both gave Monster Inoue fighter of the year. For some odd reason, not odd, I know what the reason is, Sports Illustrated gave it to Devin Haney as fighter of the year. Now, if you look at who had the best win this year, who beat the best fighter, had the best performance this year, it's clearly Terence Crawford, with a win over a top 5 pound-for-pound fighter in Errol Spence Jr., and did it in absolutely dominating fashion. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that somebody could say, well, I think Monster Inoue won because of whatever reasons they have, right? The specific one is that he became undisputed, right, in 2 fights, even though Terence Crawford became undisputed as well, right? Now, the reason why I would say that it would be Terence Crawford is because of the level of opposition. Errol Spence Jr. is a much more highly touted fighter than both Steve Fulton Jr. and Marlon Tapales. Marlon Tapales, I do believe, was a 12-1 underdog against Monster Inoue. So then you have Devin Haney, and that to me just doesn't make any sense because he almost lost to Vasily Lomachenko. That was scraped by on that one, really. Then he moved up to weight and he fought a guy that again was an underdog in Regis Prograis. Regis Prograis is nowhere near the fighter of Terence Crawford. However, this is not the first time that this happened to Terence Crawford. This also happened back when Vasily Lomachenko beat Guillermo Rigondeaux, beat Jason Sosa, and beat Miguel Mariaga. And Vasily Lomachenko was fighter of the year despite the fact that in, I do believe it was 2 or 3 fights, that Terence Crawford became the first undisputed champion in a decade since Jermaine Taylor. And they said, well, no, we don't like the level of opposition for Terence Crawford. So when he became undisputed for the first time, it was the opposition that they didn't like. Even though the opposition was every bit as good as the opposition that Monster Inoue had this year. And the second time, it must be because of frequency. Let me tell you what it is. Terence Crawford is not in bed with those promotional companies. Monster Inoue has been the pride and joy of Ring Magazine and ESPN. I think maybe since he won his first title, they had him in the top pound for pound. Devin Haney fights on DAZN, and Chris Mannix writes for DAZN, so clearly they've got a horse in that race for that one. In order for Terence Crawford to get this award, Terence Crawford's going to have to beat Errol Spence Jr. again, and he's going to have to fight Jaron Ennis and beat Jaron Ennis to reunify the welterweight division. That's the only way that he's going to get it done, and even then he may not do it. If somebody likes Vasily Lomachenko beats George Kambosos and beats Navrati moving up. This is how you know that there's bias out there. There's no way in the world that Terence Crawford can achieve as much as he's achieved and not get these awards in those 2 situations and not by any one of those 3 major sanctioned, one of those major boxing publications. It's just crazy to me. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.